ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming. My name is Grzegorz Kowalczyk. I'm editor at Business Insider Poland, and it's my pleasure and honor to welcome the following guests. Giulia Tapella, General Manager, L'Oréal Warsaw Plan.
Nice to meet you. Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
Jakub Kłoczewiak, COO Allegro.
Hello, good afternoon.
Michał Tykarski, Vice President IdoSell.
Nice to meet you.
Sławomir, Pawlak, Director of IT and Telecommunication, Board of Member, Raben Group.
Good afternoon.
So we will discuss about the dynamic realities and processes, trade tensions, the AI revolution, changes in labor markets. So I would like to begin our discussion in main general question. When you see the modern supply chain, do you see more opportunities or threats?
My business is logistics, so I see only opportunities.
Definitely opportunities. Allegro is not a delivery company like Raben for the last 94 years, right? If I remember well.
Yes. 95 years.
But the logistics and supply is very important. I think AI technology will heavily support and lift up the quality of the supply chain and transportation. Quality forecasting, all the things which help us to optimize the process and be more accurate on time for the customer. So I see opportunities more than threats.
So what is the most important trend to create that opportunities?
So trend, I think the innovations. So from the customer perspective, end user and consumer who order something to door or to the parcel machine or PUDO, the most important is that the goods are arriving on time with a good quality, right? So AI technology will definitely make this all logistic and supply chain like a commodities, like a gold and diamonds. Today, the logistics partner, they don't have the same quality. It depends on the region and on the brand, on the network. I think AI will force this quality and will bring this quality up on the really enormous high level in the future. So from the consumer will not be so important who is delivering the goods, but it's gonna be important whether it's really on time and the conditions of what has arrived.
And maybe adding on the trend, I think that's at least what we see also in L'Oréal. We're building it on, let's say, 3-4 pillars. That is really to use data at scale, then to having a decision making that is enabled by AI, because today I think that all of us, we are experiencing still a lot of systems that are very transactional, but we're really missing an additional layer where we can have more faster decision making. And this for me is strictly linked also to the change of jobs that we will have in our teams, because this future will also have much less back office, much more front office, so to spend really time in added value things, so discussing with customer, understanding better the consumer, and having less time spent on just crunching data. So this layer is really, really important, so moving from transactional to decision making enabled by AI. And then the third one is the sites automation. That can be the plants or the warehouses, or so this big automation. And then most importantly, I think, is really making the job of our people more meaningful. So not only more agile and cost effective, but also more meaningful. This for me is the biggest opportunity that we have in front of us.
Giulia, you are manager of Polish plant of L'Oréal, L'Oréal Warsaw plant, but on the other hand, L'Oréal is a global company with global solutions. So how to make that, achieve that, adopt to global solutions to local markets like Poland?
This is really interesting question, very important one in this context of high volatility and uncertainty in geopolitical context. And we had a lot of thinking inside the group over the past years. We wanted really to understand also some learnings after COVID and the pandemic, because the structure of the group is that we are strategically centralized, but then we are operationally decentralized. What does it mean? It means that we have manufacturing sites and then whenever possible suppliers that are localized as close as possible to the market that we serve. It means that the same product it has been produced, it is still produced in several sites all over the world, which could seem not very much cost effective. So we had a long discussion also in the past, is it the right model, is it the right business model? And finally, so far, it has been the only way to roll out agility, responsiveness, being very fast in decision making. So it's absolutely a mix, it's a kind of globalization, because we are strategically global, but then we are fully decentralized operationally. And all the packaging materials of L'Oréal Vorso plant, 90% of the spend is coming from local suppliers. So the full chain is, at least for packaging, is localized.
And how to deal with the challenging of ESG strategy, which is more and more important today, in that reality of kind of globalization. Yes. Please, Giulia.
I want to leave the space also for the others, but in the group also sustainability is, it requires commitment, big one at all levels, so it has to be part of the culture of the company, because it's very fast can go that you are making then business choices forgetting about sustainability. But in the group we have 3 values: safety, culture and environment, so it's really embedded into the DNA of the organization. We have really big ambitions towards sustainability, and the way it is really driven, it also through investment. So I would say big commitment, and then also investment, local investment. In the plant, just to give one example, we have invested 4 million euro in a water recycling station to have the full industrial processes that is using reused water. So fresh water goes only into the products. It was a huge investment done locally, managed locally, but it is contributing to a much bigger ambition that the group has everywhere, no matter the zone. And then locally, we need to try to find a way to, with local partners, to find a way.
Jakub, Allegro is kind of success story in using technology in emerging markets like Poland in the past. So what could be the next step of that development?
I think the personalization, the customers on the different markets, on the different regions, they have different expectations. Let's take an example, the way of payments, right? In Czechia, people prefer to pay cash on deliveries, not like in Poland that we use Blik and pay in front. They like to, pay before they just pick up the good from the courier. So we had to adjust to this and install in our parcel machines the payments terminals. In the other markets, it's prohibited something which is allowed in Poland to trade, right? So we need to understand the customer needs, behaviors, and expectations, and simply adjust. But I think the new technology will really help us, all of us, to be closer to the customers, right? Because the traditional logistics...
With proper information, with faster, more accurate, more personalized.
We have more feedbacks, we have more information, so we can really reply and really adjust to the consumer needs. Because at the end of the day, the consumer pays for all the things, right? And we need to understand his and her needs.
Here I can't agree more, and I think what I observe is Allegro, like a huge player that can enter a new market and provide the goods to consumers. On the other hand, IdoSell gives technology to merchants that they can sell on their own shops. So it's a bit different because these are usually small players. But what I can see with the technology, AI and automation is basically that small merchants with their shops can achieve similar things at a fraction of cost, because they can employ models and solutions that will, for example, help them with their warehouse or decrease their cross-border logistics costs. And you don't need huge players to enter a new market right now. And I can see exactly the same thing happening, that basically merchants are looking for local markets, and they are using technology to allow them to sell their while decreasing costs of logistics, payments, etc.
We have at least one sell everywhere, so it's enough to register, for example, in Poland, to be able to sell in Poland, Czechia, Germany, Slovakia, and so on. And I think the technology helps a lot, right? So our job is to make our customer life easier, simply.
And how do recent tariffs can change that?
Yeah, Great question.
And no one knows. Well, my personal view is that for local Polish merchants, it is not necessarily only a threat. I think local Polish producers can benefit from that because they might be more competitive versus, for example, Asian players that are becoming a threat for them. So I see huge risks, but I think from the perspective of Polish market, that's very well suited for cross-border sales to other markets. We have relatively good product, usually at good prices, and we can sell it. We could capture some of the market from non-European players.
So, Sławomir, Pawlak, from your perspective, how is Raben build efficiency in that dynamic reality and during the AI revolution?
I will maybe rephrase a bit the question, because supply chain mainly is driven by 3 criteria: the cheapest, the fastest, the greenest. Just to make delivery of your goods, somebody ordering, and can be the fastest, the cheapest, or the greenest. And it's very difficult to combine 3, even 2 of them. So we have customers which are focused on price. So the lead time is not the criteria. And for example, lead time in Chinese marketplaces is not the criteria. Lead time is weeks. In Poland, we're expecting days. Why they say the cheapest? We have customers which really focus on the green logistics. What does it mean? That we can transport the goods on the trains. Lead time is longer, costs are higher, but the efficiency or ecological footprint is better. And of course, the most common, the fastest. So we want to have goods from today pickup, tomorrow delivered, day after tomorrow in Germany, day after tomorrow in Romania. That's different perspective of customers.
Yeah, unfortunately, green sometimes means more expensive, unfortunately. I've seen in our fulfillment operations, we replace the plastic tapes with a paper one. It costs more, but I do hope that if everybody will do it, eventually the cost of the paper tape will go down, and it will, be efficient to replace the plastic one. Somebody has to start it, right?
On the other hand, sometimes ecological solutions can be cheaper. I'm personally a huge opponent of next-day delivery, for example, which I think that marketplaces, platforms, shops thought at first as a competitive advantage. Now everyone has it, but in fact, do consumers need it? I'm not so sure, and this is something that, for example, if we change as like big players, this could be way better. This could be more ecological and cheaper solutions for everyone.
It's also, I think, the complexity, at least what we see, because we have now more than 8 distribution channels, 150 countries, and 8 billions products to ship every year. It's really the complexity of this omni-channel that has become more and more demanding and complex. And it's also, yes, it's been fast and cheap, but it's also not then having an impact on the experience of the consumers. So the big challenge is really to have this seamless experience for the consumers, so that, for example, in China, but in China is where we can get also much faster also the sellout data. We are much more interconnected than what we are in Europe. We have now a smart fulfillment center that is able to, if you want to buy, I don't know, your favorite Lancome set online, it will be delivered to you, to your house in 14 hours with a personalized card in a super nice eco box, eco design box, and this is not the future, it's already there. It's in China, it's not yet in Europe, but it's something that we're still working on, and it will be more and more with automated picking lines, something that still can be a dream for what we see here, but it's existing and it is working, and the site is fully 100% from renewable resources. So it's really the proof that when investment is also done in the right way, can deliver the right experience to consumers and still be beautiful for the planet as well.
what we need today in Poland to combine that elements to build supply chains cheap, green, and fast? What is the most important change, maybe?
I think there is no company which is able to combine those three features to deliver fast, cheap, and green. There are some market changes, local market changes. For example, that in some cities in Holland soon, and in some cities in Switzerland, only electric vehicles can go. So no regular vans or trucks. And this is something which logistics should adapt. And this is for parcel business and for pallet business as well. There is no option at this moment to combine those three elements as the most optimal way. There is balance between three of them in every case.
Yeah, but I think that new technology will help a lot. I mean, will help us to predict the delivery time, will make the accuracy, the supply chain accuracy on a much higher level, will eliminate mistakes, so will save the money for us, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And I think next day delivery, somebody mentioned this one, is becoming a standard, right? I mean,
In Poland, yes.
You don't need the tires to be delivered next day, but beauty stuff probably some people expect
next hour.
Yeah, even in 2 hours, right? So I think, and I do believe that the green, eco, and better costs can come together. And we need to work on this, and technology will help.
And also what I witness also a bit still as a foreigner in Poland is that Poland is extremely advanced in terms of digitalization and skills of people as well. So I really see in the teams there is a huge STEM education system, so very good engineers, and in terms of digitalization, small startups, dynamic that is behind this modernization and acceleration in digital. Okay, we're not maybe at the level of the eastern part of the world, but it's still much more advanced than other countries, and this is a huge strength to build on.
I will add to this one more thing. It's a cooperation. I mean, in supply chain, we use we cooperate with a lot of partners. If you order something to door, most probably DPD will deliver it, right? If you prefer PUDO's point, probably Żabka is the best solution because best brand, best quality. If you want to be delivered to APM, so probably InPost will deliver it for you. So having good partners, you know, you may optimize your delivery and supply chain, and you can make it really efficient, right? Just choose the best partners. The partners, they really think about the consumers and about the quality, not only about the cost, right? And then you can be a winner, right?
So we don't have a lot of time, so I would like to ask, to sum up this discussion, I would like to ask for a piece of advice for young entrepreneurs who think about how to build efficient supply chain now in Poland.
Listen to customers, really. You have to understand their needs. Be ready for change, be flexible, be ready to fail, because most probably the first business you open won't be successful, right? And think about the cooperations. You are not alone, and the cooperation and innovation will make this probability of the success of your business much higher.
I can say from the perspective of merchants, definitely look for solutions and partners that can automate your processes and that can most efficiently deliver your products locally and to neighboring countries.
I think there's a lot of sub-products, if somebody is smart, can combine ready solutions, like portals, like the courier business, like deliveries, lockers, something like that. This is something, if somebody make it smart and create some new value, that's kind of ready product can be.
Giulia?
Yes, one thing I fully agree with what has been said, consumer centricity. Consumer is the way we are here. Supply chain will be the job of the future. It will be an amazing place to be. But again, the final is really the consumer centricity. It's key when we say that supply is getting as complex as the human body, then the customer and the consumer are really the heart of this body to make it move. And then test and learn, try, and innovation. Innovation, innovation, innovation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming
you.
here.
Thank you, guys.